Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Thank you for tuning into this video. Does silver have a dark side? Sometimes people speculate in markets, and sometimes prices are influenced by certain circumstances or instances more than others. Like supply and demand may affect silver's price, but also stock market volatility. And over the years, silver has been gaining speculative value, meaning that prices are swayed by people's emotions and opinions more than its natural price. That is not so good for precious metals that are supposed to be based off of their intrinsical value. So that's just one example of some of the stuff we're going to talk about in this video. Silver's darker side. So before we start, make sure to smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe because I post daily videos. So going back to what I was briefly talking about in the beginning of this video, silver, it's a money of the metals, but it also has industrial applications. It's used along with gold as a safe haven asset or alternative to the US dollar. Once upon a time, our money was backed by gold and silver. That was the gold and silver standard. Back then, you could take a 50-cent walking liberty, buy a gallon of gas with it, and you were giving the store clerk 50 cents. But also, not only were you giving him the face value, you were giving him 50 cents of silver because there's 50 cents of silver inside of a walking liberty 50-cent piece, right? Whoa, mind-blowing. So you were trading one thing for another of equal value. But nowadays, our money doesn't have silver in it. Our dollar bills aren't backed by gold or silver. So you can see why and how inflation, or rather hyperinflation, happens. Because we need to print off more and more money to try to catch up with ourselves. It's a repeating loop that's never going to end, and the only thing that racks up is debt. So gold and silver is a great hedge against inflation. That's why a lot of people invest into precious metals. It's a hedge against inflation. That's a whole different video. But you can see how silver is tied to the price and how prices should naturally rise. But over the years, this is the whole point I'm getting to, is people are going off of articles they read and basing it off of assumptions and opinions, and the markets are becoming more speculative. Cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, is based off of speculation. It's completely based off of speculative value. Bitcoin rises and falls whether or not who says what is happening in Bitcoin, whether it's good or bad. It's based off of how people think, quote unquote, think the markets are doing. Just like when JP Morgan called Bitcoin a scam, Bitcoin crashed thousands of dollars. That's because Bitcoin is based off of speculation. Precious metals are starting to get to that point a little bit. I'm seeing the markets more speculative than ever before, which is not good. Now, I also was talking about how silver is an industrial metal. That also can hurt silver prices. Why? Because if the economy is doing bad and industries are hurting, and if silver is an industrial metal, you can see if it's an industrial metal and it's tied to the industries and the industries are hurting, how silver prices would be hurting too. See, gold's the safe haven metal. Gold is where people transfer their wealth in times of economic turmoil. But if silver is an industrial metal and used more for that category, then a major chunk of it's going to be tied to how good the economy's doing. So when the economy starts to pick up, silver prices will pick up too. See, gold is silver's little brother, and silver usually does follow suit what gold's doing, but we are starting to see the two have markets of their own. And this virus pandemic definitely separated the line. Before there was a lot of gray area, but now it's becoming more black and white what silver and what gold is used for and how people view each of these metals. So I'm not making this video to scare you. I'm just sharing the reality of the markets. Silver is a perfect investment. It's the safest, smartest alternative. Jim Rogers, millionaire investor, said in 3 to 5 years, silver has the most potential to appreciate and gain profits than anything else. And he talked about because of the gold to silver ratio, because of inflation, because of everything, silver is the way to go. And this guy has been investing for several years, Wall Street millionaire, and he's talking about silver. People understand. The other thing is that people, I just made a video yesterday talking about why people hate silver. And in that video, I was mentioning how the governments, the feds, the banks, they downplay silver because it's a direct threat to the US dollar. How silver threatens the dollar because if you are in debt, then you're a slave to the system, and they can control you. That's where they want you to be. That's why they push credit card debt. That's why they push student loans on you, is because they can control you. It's a power move. It's a power play, right? And silver is going against the grain. If you're investing in the gold and silver, you're going against everything that they want you to do, and that's why banks, governments, the feds, they will downplay silver. You got to be careful though, because you got to be careful what information you listen to. There's not always positive information on the internet about precious metals. A lot of times people are talking about how bearish the markets are, or how silver is this terrible investment, or they'll go off of some grid and say, oh, if you would have bought silver here, you could have made this amount of dollars, but nowadays you can't make any money. They'll try to put it they'll try to put you in a position to think that there's no money in silver, that you're just going to lose your money if you break even. And that's not true. Silver has several different ways to make money, not only from silver spot price rising, but from the coins appreciating themselves. Buy pandas or kookaburras. If you think silver is going to be a bear market for the next 10 years, buy a whole bunch of kookaburras and pandas. In the next 3 to 4 years, those coins will double in value. In the next 15, 20 years, those coins will triple, quadruple in value. Go look what a 1980 panda's worth, or a 1980, 1990 kookaburra, right? It's all you got to do. It's that simple. A lot of people overcomplicate it though, and silver stacking can be complicating. There's a lot of distractions. There's a lot of different ways you can go. But if you're a simple-minded person, stick to a simple silver stacking strategy. If you like doing a lot of things at once, if you're proactive and you can gamble all that stuff, then make that your silver stacking strategy. Going simple might run you crazy, run you up the wall. You got to know your personality, and that depends upon how you're going to stack. See, diversification is definitely beneficial. Diversifying against, spot price, having coins like pandas and kookaburras, but also you could, in return, buy bullion to get a foundation under yourself, stability. So there's one other thing I want to talk about to wrap this video up, and that is all the silver scams, the silver pumpers, the fake silver that's on eBay. Right? There's a lot of fake silver on eBay. You got to be careful, especially if you're a beginner stacker. You don't want to be buying on eBay. You want to be buying on places like APMEX, JM Bullion, Modern Coin Mart, SD Bullion, or you want to be going to your local coin shop. They should be opening back up depending on where you live. Go in there, ask to buy some American Eagles, see what he charges. Hopefully he charges around spot price. If he does, great, you got a deal. Do it, right? Do it. Take advantage of that, because sooner than later, silver is going to be scarce. An ounce of silver is not going to be $15. You're going to be looking back on these days, laughing, wishing you could go back in time and buy a lot more silver right now. But that's in the future. We don't have a crystal ball to tell that, but the signs are obvious. The silver stackers know this. We know that one day silver is going to be $100+. We don't know how soon it's going to be, right? It could be sooner. It could be in the 3 to 5 year range. It could be 10 years. It could be in 2 years, depending on what happens in the economy, depending upon monetary policies, how much more stimulus, how much longer this virus goes on, when are we going to find a vaccine. There's several different players in the game that affect this, right? There's several different things that that could influence that. And I do want to dive a little bit into this to wrap the video up. Silver prices, like I said in the beginning of the video, are influenced by many different things. And I'm curious when silver is going to pull away from gold. When is silver going to naturally perform the way it does, regardless of what gold's doing, regardless of what stock markets are doing? Silver has the potential to do that. It's used for so many things. It has the demand for itself. It's not like it needs to ride off of gold just to get somewhere. Silver can perform without gold because silver is a market within its own and it has potential within its own, aside from gold. Silver has potential for things that gold doesn't. So I'm curious when we're going to see that happen. When are we going to lose the speculation? When are we going to lose the market manipulation? And when are we going to see silver prices shine? That's the big question. I want to thank you all for tuning into this video. If you thought this video was educational, informational, or at least just entertaining, make sure to smash that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe. I'm posting daily videos every single day. I'm giving you the newest, latest, freshest information in the world of precious metals. I am your guy. This is your channel. Welcome. Stay tuned for more videos coming soon throughout the day. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like I said, make sure to smash the like button. I'd love to hear your comments on this topic. What do you think about silver's darker side? Do you think that it's a bearish market, or do you think it has potential? And what do you think about speculators? I'm going to wrap this video up here. Thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.